Hey everyone, we have Dr. Aafreen here with us. She is a doctor, a mother, and an award-winning author of the book Ma Don't Go. She grew up in Mumbai and completed her MD in immunohematology and transfusion medicine from Tata Memorial Center, Mumbai. She is also the editor-in-chief of the Times of Youth, an international youth magazine, and has over 1.5 lakh social media fans cumulatively. So, welcome, Dr. Afreen. We would love to hear from you today on how you ventured into author journey, and what is it that you want to give to the audience through the message from your book.
Okay. Hi, Raghunath, and hi, all the viewers. Thank you so much for having me on your channel.
Yeah,
It's a privilege for people like me to be featured, and I really appreciate and thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I appreciate that you've been, doing so much for helping authors like us to, create a mark for ourselves and shine a bit more.
my pleasure. My pleasure. I also enjoy doing this kind of
So,
meetings.
yeah, so do I actually. It's quite nice to, talk to like-minded individuals and,
Right.
have a heart-to-heart in a way. So,
Yeah.
you asked about my author journey and what inspired me to write this book, isn't it?
Right.
So, um, as you must know, the pandemic was a
Yeah.
real, tough time for all of us, especially for doctors like me.
Yeah. Okay.
We were labeled as COVID warriors.
Right.
The reason I do this is because our minds, we were still normal people. We are also human, right? So
Correct.
when a woman is a doctor, and that too in a COVID time when she's a COVID warrior and having a child, okay,
Yeah.
back then when COVID actually started, my child was hardly 1 year old. So you
Okay.
can imagine the kind of stress that I was going through. You know, in one way, I had to do right by my duty at the
Right.
hospital, and I had to be professionally sound at all times so that I don't make mistakes there because there's no scope of mistakes at that crucial point.
Right.
And on the background, I have a child who is waiting for me back home. When I come back, I should make sure that I don't transmit any kind of infection to that child. Imagine the kind of pressure it puts on you.
Mhm.
So I had to be very careful, and these things were taking a toll on me. And it actually did happen that, I um, got struck by COVID twice. Once in the first wave and once in the second. So
Anyways.
it was a time for me where I couldn't discharge any of my duties. I couldn't do anything to my hospital for my patients. I couldn't take care of my child. I just had to be locked up in a room, and it's
Right.
quite relatable because many people had gone through that phase, I suppose.
Exactly.
Maybe even worse sometimes. So, in my case, at least I was having a mild kind of infection, thankfully. And for that purpose, it was still okay. But
Oh,
even during that time, I was feeling so lonely and depressed.
yeah.
So I thought, kya? Kya kiya jaye? What should I do at that time? Then I thought maybe I should just take some guidance from people and see how other people are doing in their jobs and their lives, and whether I can take some, things from their journey and hold on to that and,
Yeah.
keep on going. So
Right.
when I searched the internet, मुझे कुछ मिला नहीं. For a woman who is a doctor, who's
Yeah.
having a child this small during COVID, especially, it was hard to find any kind of guidance or inspiration as such. So I
Okay.
thought, why not? There should be so many other women who are also going through the phase that I am going through. Why not just do something so that I can put out my experiences and give it to them as a guidance, which I did not get,
Okay.
and maybe it would help them in their future journeys and keep them inspired.
Yeah. That's
So
one.
that is why I took up to writing. And when I was locked up in that room, I just picked up my laptop and typed. Almost 60-70% of the book was done at that time. And
Okay.
later on, when I completed my MD post COVID phase, At that time, I could finish up the rest of it,
Okay.
and then I put it for publishing. So that is how it all went.
Wonderful. It's noble, and you used your lonely time productively, so that it's beneficial to whoever in the future is going to go through a similar kind of pain and loneliness. Because through the book, you're talking so much of your experiences, which is very relatable to people who might go through the similar situation in the future. So absolutely, wonderful
Yeah.
job that you're doing for the moms of this country, dealing with
Yeah,
loneliness and tough challenges in motherhood, and balancing the act in professional lives too, because both are equally crucial for their life. Amazing.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, Dr. Aafreen, I know you love writing and see that as an expression of your feelings and such. So, when you see authors who kind of leave their job and then pursue that as a full-time activity, do you think there is, conviction and there's confidence that they can do it for their living as well, or do you think that it should be like a part-time activity while you have a main profession in hand?
It depends on the passion, I would say, because
Mhm.
if you're passionate about something, you would go all in and give it your best. So
Right.
maybe you will be completely channelizing all of your energy towards that one particular thing that you really believe in.
Right.
And one is able to do that, any person, be it a man or a woman, then maybe they'll be able to do, bring out certain extraordinary things after that. Because once you get that launch pad, and certain, bestsellers really shine out, and people start recognizing you. After that, it becomes a kind of a cakewalk, because then you don't need a lot of marketing. Word of mouth would be enough. For example, Chetan Bhagat,
Yeah.
he went for traditional publishing earlier, and then later on, when a few of his books really, got that attention, then
Yeah.
later on, he did not have to do so much for the rest of his books. Now they keep coming and people keep buying. So if you can do that, and if one of your books has that potential, then maybe being a full-time author can pay you well. And until and unless it does, then maybe even me, we would still have to keep it as a side hustle.
Right. Right. Makes sense. So I love that point that you said that you have something that is of high quality and people recognize it, and then you just don't need marketing anymore. So your work itself is, and your name itself becomes a brand, and people just recognize your name and not the word so much because they trust that brand. Right. Wonderful.
Yeah. The work talks for you.
Sorry.
The work will talk for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it works in all businesses because in the initial years you are trying to build something of high quality, and then you want some kind of reputation for yourself, and then at the end it's like your reputation just sells and it scales up pretty easily. I think that's a good point that you made. And moving on to
Yeah.
your book, how do you measure the success of your book? I know we had award ceremony also where your book was recognized. So how would you measure the outcomes of your book, and how will your satisfaction levels be in terms of the success that you take from your writing experience?
So, like I mentioned at the start, when I wrote this book, it was with the intention of guiding people. And I
Right,
really wanted to get across that point to the people who really belong to this niche. The
right,
niche being women, doctors, mothers. Okay.
okay,
It could also be other professionals other than doctors, or just being in healthcare and not doctors. That will still, be fruitful enough. But
okay,
अगर एक जन को भी अगर it benefits, even if one person is taking the actual message home, then
okay,
it makes sense to go through all that effort and painstaking process of
okay,
writing and publishing and marketing the book. Because the ultimate point was what? To make them aware about that problems that they are either going to face or they are facing real time, so that they would know how to navigate through that. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not using the word tackle here because
Right.
tackling would mean either you're running away from it or you're being very rebellious or aggressive towards it.
Right. Right.
Any
Okay.
kind of rebellion or aggression. I am just letting people know that we can navigate through it if we have the right kind of mindset. So that way, I know that अगर एक इंसान को भी उसका फायदा हुआ है, so it is
Mhm.
quite an achievement enough for me.
Okay.
And what happens is, even that one person is then going to really put out that word for me to 10 other people who are in that niche, in her own friend circle or family circle.
Right.
And those 10 people, even if one other person from those 10 people picks that book up and propagates it to other 10 people who, can really relate to it, then
Right.
it goes on. It's like a snowballing effect. So
Yeah.
that is what I'm looking forward to. And if that happens, then I would consider myself as successful, my book to be successful enough that, it has achieved the target. For me, numbers are not the thing. If numbers would be something, then, a lot of people are still failures. But still, they do get satisfaction because they know that they have reached the right kind of people, the public who should read these books. And for me, this point has come. So I can proudly say that yes, जिसको पहुंचना था उसको पहुंच तो रहा है, and I'm quite happy about it.
Wonderful. I think you are part of that magazine, youth magazine as well. I think you have a platform to promote and reach the right target audience, because I think that's the crux of marketing. Because unless you reach the person whom you want to reach through your book, no, the other people are just going to buy it and maybe not read it and inculcate that message that you are intending to provide.
Yeah.
Amazing. And if someone offers you a lot of money and the rights of the book, would you happily give it, or you still want to keep the ownership of that?
Maybe not this book because this is my first baby. So maybe not this book. The ones
Uh,
that I write in the future, how they turn out to be, that will be, the deciding factor then. But इस वाली
this is special. Yeah, this is a debut
नहीं.
book. Wonderful. So, Dr. Afreen, for our viewers who are watching you, what is the three key messages that you want to provide through your book, so that they can get a gist of it?
Yeah, first ones are always best.
Yeah. Hello.
The first key message that I want to give through this book is you're not alone. Any woman who is, pursuing her dreams to understand that there are other women in the world who are somewhere or the other going through similar situations, if not the exact same. And
Okay.
you need to understand that you can get, um, out. So you don't need to feel alone. You don't need to be alone. If you have the courage, yeah. So if you
Yeah.
falter in between,
Mhm.
you know that there's somebody who is able to hold you at that point.
Okay.
Okay, that is the first message. Second message would be to the men who
Mhm.
are living with these women.
Right.
Okay, the working women, the professionals who are willing to, take leaps and bounds just because they believe in something.
Mhm.
So, men, there are, I mean, I'm not a big, I don't like to trash talk men. Men have their own mindsets,
Right.
but it's different from women. So what happens is, sometimes they don't match. They have different expectations. They have different expectations, men and women. So men can have expectations wherein they would want a woman to be a docile one. Okay,
Okay.
the women should be a human who should be under her, and she should listen to him as
Mhm.
much as, मतलब वो जितना करने देगा उसको सिर्फ उतना ही उसने करना है, चाहे घर के अंदर हो या चाहे घर के बाहर हो.
Okay.
And she needs to comply.
Okay.
So men can want such things. It's completely their choice, like how it's a woman's choice to pursue something or not pursue something. So,
Right.
if you want a docile woman, you can have one. There are women in the world who are ready to be docile just because you are going to provide for her. But
Okay.
if you are going to take up a woman who is not docile, who loves to fly,
Right.
okay, then don't be angry later on if she's not plucking her wings for you.
Okay. Got it.
You
Yeah.
get the point?
Brilliant message. Yeah.
It's a deep thought. It's a
Yeah.
very deep thought if you actually think about it. Okay. A woman who likes to fly is not going to pluck your wings for her. If you want a docile one, get a docile one beforehand. Do not pluck the wings of the one who wants to fly.
Yeah. That's true. Makes sense.
Okay. That is for men.
Okay.
You can want what you want, but you choose that way.
Right. Right.
Okay. So that is one for women, one for men. Now there is another one for the entire humanity.
Okay.
Okay. For the entire humanity, I would say men and women together make a family,
Right.
isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Both have their own mindset,
Yeah.
correct? Make a family. If they are not aligned, then how can they make a family? There is always going to be a distance between them, which can only be filled if you let go of your mindsets and come together. If you do
Okay.
not do that, then there is definitely going to be these clashes and these frictions which will
Mhm.
happen, and you will have your family also to egg you on.
Right.
Okay, whether it be from the girl side, whether it be from the guy side, and this especially I'm talking in the scenario of South Asian mindset. Okay. So what happens in our scenario is it's not just the husband and the wife, it's everybody else who is in their family also who gets involved. So
Okay.
there is one chapter in my book, in fact, which is especially dedicated to this, which is called family equation. So
Oh,
in this, a woman needs to understand how to choose a family at least when she is into this kind of career, because she got into a healthcare before she actually got into a marriage, right?
right.
So that way it becomes very different if she is going to different kinds of families. For example, if she's going to a family wherein there is no doctor at all, then
Okay.
there'll be nobody to actually understand what she's going through or what kind of support she requires and the empathy that she will need along the way.
Yeah.
And there is another kind of family wherein there is somebody in the healthcare section, or some doctor is there who is able to
Right.
understand her problems and give her that kind of shoulder to cry on if at all she needs one. So,
Yeah.
those two completely different scenarios wherein a woman would put herself into. So, and not just the woman, it's even the entire family who will have to, adjust with that woman in the first place. But families never adjust. It is only the woman who will be coming and adjusting. That is what they, make it mandatory as. कि आप आए हो हमारे घर में, आपको हमारे तौर तरीके सीखने हैं, हम आपके लिए चेंज नहीं होने वाले. You do whatever you want to do. We
Right.
we are what we are. So,
Right.
it actually goes both ways, but they don't take it so. So that is what I'm saying. Okay? Research well before what you're getting into, whether it be a man, whether it be a woman, whether it be an entire family. Align your thoughts first. If they are not aligned, you can keep looking.
Right, right. I think that's a very good point because most often what happens is, you look at the couple talk to each other and then they decide upon going ahead. But in fact, it's like you said, it's a family equation because two families are coming together and their relatives and so on. So it's really important that your values and beliefs align because otherwise you're going to have a tough marriage and then problems going ahead. So I think you made a very good point where you understand like it's not just about A and B, and it's like A, B, C, D until Z, if I say. So that's
Yeah,
really important
yeah.
that we understand that as part of marriage. Yeah, amazing.
And actually, I wrote that equation also. That there is an
Okay.
actual equation put into that chapter. A is a man, B is a woman,
Oh,
plus C to Z is all the family. There's never just A and B. The entire family will tag along if you're
right.
going into a family.
Right. Wonderful. Wonderful thought, Dr. Free. It's been absolutely like talking to you. Any closing comments that you want to leave our viewers with that will help them through their life?
Uh, my closing comments here would be that just dare to dream, you know, whether it be men, whether it be women, don't shy away from trying things. If you're passionate about something, then definitely at least give it a try. If you
Right.
wouldn't do that, then there'll always be that regret at the back of your mind forever. कि यार मैंने try भी नहीं किया, I could have
Right.
at least given it a go. So that way, never, let it go without giving it a chance. That is what I mean to say.
Amazing. So it's like when you're gone, you're anyways, gone without any regrets that had I been that or had I done that, I would have ended up differently. So I think that's again a very good point because you only have one life, and whatever time you have is your biggest asset, right? So the more things that you do that you really enjoy, the better your quality of life will be, right? So it's amazing that you bring this point.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aafreen. It's been a delight talking to you and amazing conversation. I have a lot of valuable takeaways from here, and so do our viewers. So thanks so much, and
Yes.
talk to you soon.
Pleasure's all mine.
Yeah, sure. Bye.